For those of you who have guests on your show, perhaps you have a more interview style format, or maybe you have guest contributors come on the show for various segments. Having guests on your show can be a great way to get some additional promotion for your podcast. Having said that, I don't believe it's something you should require your guests to do. I see a lot of podcasters, when they reach out to a guest saying the requirement to be on my show is that you run 2 Twitter posts and you post to Instagram and you do a Facebook Live, and they'll just go on and on and on. And honestly, that is so off-putting because you have to think about it. Your guest is already doing you a favor by being on your podcast. And now you're adding more things to the list. They're giving you their time, which is their most valued treasure. So that is really their contribution, and you should be thanking them profusely for agreeing to be on your show. Do not give them more requirements. Having said that, I'm a big advocate of when your episode is ready to be released, giving your guests all the tools they need. So if they want to promote the show, you have made it super simple for them to do that. What do I mean by that? Well, I am going to create some samples for you guys so you can see what I've done in the past. Whatever promotion you want them to do, first of all, make sure when an episode is ready to be released, it's better if you do this even before the episode is released, that you send them an email. And the email, one email, needs to contain all this information in it that is available for promotional purposes. So this is what I would say, something like this. Dear so-and-so, thank you so much for being part of our show. You had valuable insight on this, this, and this, and I know our podcast audience is really gonna appreciate it. Your episode is going to release on such and such date. If possible, I would be so happy if you could promote this to your audiences. I have created some tools and some information to help you. And then list it out. What would you be listing? If you have graphics, if you are creating episode graphics, so you've got your main podcast artwork, and then you have the ability to add episode artwork to each of your episodes, you can use that, you can upload that to your podcast host provider, but depending on what size and style you do that in, that could very easily double as an image you post to Instagram or to Facebook or to Twitter or something like that. So if you're gonna already create something like an episode image, I would just take that and maybe modify it a little bit so your guest can use it as well. That's a great tool. Anytime any podcast that I'm on sends me promotional material and I know that they've taken the time to create, I always promote. Always, always, always. Because I know that they created something specific for me and for my appearance. And I appreciate that. And not only that, but most of the time I feel like that information that we covered in the podcast can help my audience as well. So the more information you provide them, the more tools, and by tools I'm talking about graphics that they can use, suggested wording for a Twitter post. And again, I'll provide some examples for you, but the more you can do that, the more simple you can make this for your guests, the more conversion is going to happen where your guests are like, wow, this person really took the time to think about this and think about my episode. This isn't just a gimme, gimme, gimme. This is, let's help each other. Let's promote you. And in doing that, we're also promoting the podcast. So that's my advice. Yes, if you have guests on your show, try to utilize that as much as possible. Do not make it a requirement. It is so off-putting. You will burn more bridges than you build, and it's simply not worth it. But take advantage of the power of their audiences by providing them with information and making the promotion process as simple as possible for them.